That's a good way to start a podcast. I feel good.
True you. To be your true self.
At some point, we need to talk about frequency water. Love frequency water. Not today, but it's a question that has come up in that why is it love frequency water? So let's get disturbed. We're not talking about that today. What we're going to talk about is this. We will a little later if we get there, but I think let's start with the subject that really has been hammered home by a number of people who have watched the podcast and said, Duane, you've spent quite a lot of time on demons. Are you ever going to talk about angels?
There we go.
So let's.
Okay.
Because the angel is, for me, as a metaphor, as a symbol, as an image, so powerful. And to my understanding, we all have these angels in our lives. We have angels within us. We have angels around us. We have angels who look over us. It is such a beautiful, warm blanket,
right?
The angel.
Well, it's guardianship.
Yes. So tell me the history of the angel and why the angel is the angel in that angel and demon scenario.
Sure.
It's a big question. It's not a loaded question.
Talk about a loaded question.
It's not
right
loaded,
there.
though.
So
just tell me about angels.
And when I say loaded question, because it's like, okay, so where do you begin? Because in every book, every scriptured book, every sacred book, every part of history, every place where there is something that is of an unsurmountable impact, there's an angel.
Of course.
It's been written, it's been observed and seen by many. It's been written by many more. But there is a space within our own psyche and our own consciousness that we have this connection. And there's a very big difference between angels and archangels. And once you evolve and grow and get that space within your own matrix, your own evolution, you learn to recognize the difference between that. And you also need to you also start recognizing the people that come into your life that are angels.
Those angels.
They have that vibrational attunement. They come in with a certain smile, a certain aura, a certain energy.
Make you feel a certain
and they
way.
make you feel. Yeah. So to answer your question, what is the defining moment of what created angels? God, the supremacy of all of the storyboards across religions, across cultures, across lands and continents. They exist all over. All right? Is that what you're asking me?
I always feel like it transcends that, though, because even people who are non-religious people believe that they have angels looking over them. So it's the symbol of this somebody from your past, or this image of your past, from your past, that's looking over you and keeping you safe and keeping you warm.
Right.
So it's almost transcendent. It's such a powerful image.
Yes.
I mean, it's inextricably linked
so you're touching
to the Bible.
You're touching such a personal chord to me. So
good.
When I immigrated, and I just across the oceans, left home, was really in the space of like, okay, what am I going to do? I could do anything. I just been top Portuguese designer back home, huge run in my life with the design factor and the beauty factor. Was in cosmetics, did all that, and then crossed over, and then who did I want to be? What did I want to come in and do?
So you came here with that very definite mindset that you were going to be something different, or you were just open to whatever happened?
I was open.
All right, okay.
I was open, but, I was also in a place of flying high. When you think you're invincible and you've done it all, and you think America is
almost
like
bulletproof.
Yeah, it's like the place of like, if I did it in South Africa, I can easily do it in America. I can do this. And then America teaches you a lesson or two.
Quickly. It's very humbling. It is very humbling.
It teaches you to pray very, very, very intensely to your angels. And maybe it's in those moments of deep-seated reflection.
Are you saying that when you came here and you started that new journey, you entered into that very definite reflection?
I hit a downer. I did a huge downslope into. I think I even got depressed. I was like, the culture was so different. I was different. The people are different. The food's different. I mean, think about it. You know, in South Africa, you have like your bread, your milk, and your washing powder. In America, you have a million loaves, a million choices, and there was just such an abundance of so much choice. And I think that's exactly what creates the disparity between you knowing what you want versus to being indecisive of what you need. You know, just like, what is it that you want? Where are you going? And I had achieved so much. Where was I going to go next? What was I going to go do? So I remember the day of being in that phase where I decided I was going to draw people's angels for them because I was going to draw what I saw. And it's so funny because there were the odd times that I saw like angelic beings with, I could see they had this auric feel of the wing factor. But there were others that I knew for sure, okay, that didn't come with the wings, which is really, really, really interesting for Vanda and I. But I was very clear, no, this one didn't have wings. So it was like, well, is this my angel? I'm like, yeah, it's an angel. But it's not. It was more of like an ancestor, spiritual guide, not an angel. But it's still an angel.
Because some people will see it that way.
Will see it that way. But at that moment, I was so clear of that energy exchange of information that angelic being or that spirited being, that light, that source of light, had no wings. Wow. And some I was able to, and I don't even know if they did have wings, but I had that essence inside of me where I was drawing the wings and they were beautiful. And what is interesting is that before each client came to me, they would give me a very specific, personalized something that it was so personal to them. Like, I'll never forget the woman that had a beauty spot here, or, you know, I had a gentleman that had a cut in his lip, and I had something that I had a woman that also had, like, she only wore like one earring, and it was a feathered earring, and it was long. So it was just like personalized things, and I used to giggle because it was so to the point, so spot on. And then you go, oh, touched by an angel.
Touched by an angel. So now people are going to say, oh, but that's how you want to see it.
Of course.
Something really good happens in your life and you want, oh, that's my angel looking over me. And again, I'm going to go so far as to say, even people who have got no ties to an organized religion of any kind, they still believe angels exist in their life. How does that work? Is it just we're attaching that moment or that feeling of something watching over you? It's got to be an angel. I missed that car crash. The angel is looking over me.
Absolutely.
Something saved me in that really, really dangerous moment.
Absolutely.
Or I made a decision that I know I shouldn't have made. I made a good decision. My angel was looking over me.
Absolutely.
But even,
and I think there needs to be more of that.
Yes. Okay.
I think there needs to be more of that, because nowadays everybody's into demons and vampires and to the shadow aspects of zombies and all of that. So wherever your focus goes, your energy goes. There should be more angel movies. There should be more angel personas. There should be more goodness. There should be more benevolence. I think our younger generations are saturated with a focus and intense view of zombies, violence, aggression, The Walking Dead, the devil, whatever.
So let's do this.
Aliens, all of it.
So let's do this, just for the sake of discussion. We change the name from angels and demons to light and dark.
Okay.
That could serve exactly the same purpose, right? Because
the
angels are
which
lightness.
We need both.
No, sure. Oh, absolutely. The balance of the universe. So if we just go light and dark, there's going to be like dark in your life, but you need to focus. We need, in this day and age, you're saying we need to really focus and harness more of the light.
Look at where we are right now as humanity
and
humankind. We need to go look. We need to switch on the lights.
We do.
Okay, because people are focused too much on the negative jams, and people saying that we are raising our consciousness and there's more goodness and goodwill in the world. Yeah, that could be so. And the truth is that it is so. But for who we are and where we are, there's a missing link somewhere. Because, and maybe there isn't. You know what? Maybe there isn't, because you create your own universe and your own bubble.
Sure.
You know, but it's like, I just had this conversation with a rabbi. In fact, I'm going to give him a big, great and shout out. Rabbi Spark from Temple Emanuel, big shout out to him. He's a full-on warrior, love him to pieces, just a super consciousness and awareness to these times. And we were having an interesting conversation about, you know, where we are as humans and still battling the darkness between cultural differences and anti-Semitism and all this conversation that just brings on this huge diversity of personal triggers and notifications that should we not be looking at a higher perspective of things?
Looking for the light.
And sharing the goodness of what is in everyone's heart, which is love, which is what you and I were talking about. You know, where is that light in that person? Because there is no darkness in a soul. The darkness comes from the mind. You know, when God gives plants the seed, you know, this is a very to the heart conversation for Vanda, because I believe I am a spiritual warrior. You know, I'm not here to fight the darkness, but I do come with a certain ability to stand very, very firm. If it's like, come on, guys, come on, let's wake it up. What are we doing repeating history? Are we not supposed to be evolving? And we have to pay attention to the times, because this is the age of Aquarius. This is a new moon on Friday. You guys, you were asking me, how is this all connected? This is connected right now. There's a law of correspondence that's happening. And I see people so addicted to the gossip and the things that separate us as humans. You know?
We're not looking for commonalities. We're looking for differences because we've become a very argumentative age.
Yeah, because it's like, Christians against Jews and Jews against Muslims, I can be all three. And I was born Roman Catholic.
Right.
And today I still favor and understand Christ consciousness, and it's to the core of my heart, but I'm Jewish. You know, and I'll stand up to the space to that. And my best friends are Muslim.
I think
where is the light in our hearts and our souls?
I think that's a big difference. That's a big difference with what's happening in the world at the moment, I think. And that's the two things I really want to talk about in terms of what you've just brought up. The first one is, I think people are really looking for differences in each other. We're not looking for commonalities and similarities. We're not looking for areas that we can talk about and agree on and really, really move forward on. We are looking for reasons to disagree. We're looking for reasons to be outraged. We're looking for reasons to argue.
But people that do that are disgruntled.
No. I agree with you completely, but I just think there's so much of it going on. It leads me to my second point, which you really did hit on. You can so easily, in that type of culture, the negative gets all the attention.
Right.
The people who shout the loudest, the people who are the meanest, the people who can say the most vile things on the internet, they get so much attention. So what we should be doing is going, fine, we can't stop them doing what we're doing, but we need to shine a brighter light on the other side of this. So rather than stop those people doing what they do, we just make a bigger, bright light. So we talk about more goodness. We look for the goodness. We look for the commonalities. We look for reasons to enjoy each other's company, even though we do disagree on certain things. And I'm saying in all walks of life, because so often, and it's part of the reason why, there are two things that happened to me when we started talking about the podcast. The first one was, right, if you're going to create a podcast in this day and age, the ones that are really working are the ones that are very controversial or very dark or saying nasty things about these people. And why do you want to play in a space like that? That lasted all of 1 second, because immediately I thought, we cannot let that exist without making something that is going to create light. And which is really what we're doing. We're trying to talk about those really positive things.
Right.
So that's the first thing, where we've got to create the light. So when there's so much darkness,
Right.
so do you know what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
I have to interrupt you there.
No, please do.
Because so it's a circumstantial process with you and me. One, I've had podcasts lined up for years. But Vanda was waiting on that piece that would contribute the purpose for a podcast, right? So when you and I came together, we didn't let's do a podcast together.
No.
This was very organic.
Very organic.
So earlier on, we spoke about soul circles and soul people that come together. This is something simpatico.
I really was going to try and get there in that conversation
So
as
you
well.
should have got there quicker.
Well, you know.
Hold on.
Wi-Fi will do that to you. Speaking of which, Dana, is the Wi-Fi behaving itself? The Wi-Fi is doing all sorts of dodgy things to us. So if there are all sorts of weird pictures happening on this episode, just go with it. Close your eyes if you have to. I'm sure you'll be able to hear us anyway. Just listen carefully. Let's keep going. You wanted to interrupt me because it is a soul circle. We came together.
Right. So we've come together with the attraction and a purpose to support that ripple effect of a higher vibration. So of course this is going to come forward. You know, we've touched on so much here that needs to be addressed. And we like going in 2 seconds. We go, you know what? It's very easy for us to talk so quickly and say, you know what? Get over it. Let it go. But we don't. And we have to pay attention to our emotional selves, because
just let what go?
Everything. Because we are saying this, some people are not able to let go of their roots of how they were brought up as Christians and support the Jews and support the Muslims. They just haven't evolved enough. But that's why I think that could it be, what a great thing, could it be that God is so divine and so awesome and so intelligent and so bright in the manifesting of this all, that we play the biggest roles in defining our own evolution? Could it be that we come in to be all of these religions at one time in our different lives, so that we can grasp the effect of what it is to really love each other when we are not the same?
We've forgotten how to do that, though.
Well, then we need to remember, because
that's exactly why we're sitting here.
Our forgetfulness now in the age of Aquarius is going to separate us even more than what it did in the past, because the old ways don't work.
I'm going to look at you and agree with you and then say, maybe some of the old ways, when I mean the really old ways,
well, the
need to
old
come
ways
back.
Meaning the negative charged ways of separating everything.
Sure.
But at the same time, you know what, I have to take back my words.
Which ones?
The old ways, because I'm an old girl, I'm like, they do work.
Yeah, because as you said it, I know what you're saying.
Hold on. Let me interrupt myself.
Maybe it works better if I do it, though. You can't do it yourself. It has to be an external light.
So let me see, Tato. I've just had the biggest inner talk, because I'm such an old girl and I truly believe in the old ways. So do I.
Really do.
And so what's not working is what has never worked before.
It's never going to work.
So
it's never going to work.
Exactly.
It can't win.
Yeah.
It can't win.
So you're talking about darkness cannot win, because the darkness is being called into the light. Right? But for us to have the ultimate experience here is to understand that the dance between light and dark exists to give us the rich diversity and balance, so that we can have these ultimate experiences and have also the ability to have our personal power coming into balance. We are the most powerful source of intelligence. We are.
But equally, We are the most powerful sources of both light and dark as human beings.
The darkness comes from our minds.
No, that's what I'm saying. We have this ability within us. So we just have to concentrate as human beings
And that's what I'm
to
saying.
focus more on the light and focus on the positivity, on
Right.
the energy.
Right.
We need to do that on a daily basis.
So that's what we were told. So going back to what you said, you know, how it all started, I think that there should be a little bit more focus on God, on the source of light, on the universe that is benevolent, on taking your focus less, because the more you're focusing on the darker energy, then your energy has to go there.
It's gonna be
you
dark.
look at it, that's where your energy
Yeah.
goes. Your focus is going to be where your energy is, and your energy is going to follow where you focus. So just shifting that in the morning and giving yourself a blast of light, connecting you to your own angels, connecting you to being an angel to somebody. It could be smiling when somebody hasn't been smiled in a long time, a courtesy, a kind word. Do you know that kind words are like
they're gold. They are absolute gold.
gold?
Beyond gold.
People are so stressed out that they are little demons in effect of the demon world.
You know what? I'm going to make it so small.
Right.
That light and dark, that goodness and
Dance.
darkness, that dance. It's something that I feel when we wake up in the morning, we have an opportunity as we open our eyes to either harness the darkness or the light right there. And I'm going to make it so crazily small. If we read the news first, there's more opportunity that our day is going to start badly. If we put a piece of music on that makes us feel good,
Right.
we are harnessing the light in the
How you
morning.
start your
How
day.
you start your day, right? So that's got such a profound effect. So that in a
Right.
very small way, on a practical level, that's something you can do every day to make sure
Right.
you start your day with a little light.
Right.
I have got to tell you a story.
Right.
I used to, and still do, suffer with a little depression. And it's manifested over years and
Okay,
years
hold
and
on.
years.
Let
No,
me
no.
just help you here.
It's not going to, it's in my eye. You sprayed it right
That's
in my eye.
Perfect. See yourself a little bit differently.
No. But here's the
Yeah,
thing.
but
I mean, depression's real.
God.
You know what I mean? So I've suffered with depression over the years. But what I used to do before I understood that I suffered from depression,
Right.
I would go through these lows in my
Right.
life. Whether it was I'm not very busy at the moment, so I'm not on stage a lot, whether I was having a bit of a troubled time in my relationship, or was I just found myself at a bit of a crossroads in my career, whatever it was, I would find myself a bit
Right.
down. So I had this thing that I would do, and I would go to a shopping center that was particularly close
Right.
to where I live.
Oh, I think I know where it is.
Now this is Eastgate. So for those of you who don't know what
For those
Eastgate
that
is,
don't know Eastgate,
it's
on the old stomping ground.
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
So I would go to Eastgate because it was close to where I lived.
Right.
And what I would do is, and this is really what I'm trying to say about the light. The light's a wonderful thing. The light shines if you shine the light. It's a wonder. So I would go into a store, a random store. I wouldn't want to buy anything, but I would make a commitment to myself not to leave that store before I've made the person working behind the counter smile. And I would have to do this in 3 separate stores before I was allowed to leave Eastgate. So I would go into the shopping center, right?
Right.
Make the first one smile, make them laugh, whatever, my work here is done. Go into the second one, maybe a little bit more of a challenge.
Are you being serious? Did you do this?
Absolutely 1,200 million%. I would go to the second store, maybe I wouldn't be so lucky. It almost always worked this way though.
Right.
The first 3 stores I would go into, people eventually got to a point after a couple of years of going, why? I know why you're here. You never buy anything. What are you doing? So I would go into the store, make them smile, make them laugh, do whatever. My work was done. Go to the next one.
You're lucky you didn't get cussed.
When-
So that would
never. People absolutely loved it. What would
See, there
happen
was
is,
an angel on your side.
no, here's the thing though. I was trying to make them feel better so that I would feel better. Because
Okay,
I
so-
almost always got something out of it. So we're talking about the light and the dark. I was feeling dark, and by opening up the light between 2 human beings, I would walk away. And you know who benefited the most out of this experience? Me.
Right.
Not those 3 people.
Because
I don't
always
think they did.
it's
I
always
think
that.
when you shine a light,
Right.
the light will shine on you.
Right.
Whether it's, and it doesn't matter where it comes from. whether it's, because for me, that was a really selfish exercise. It really was. But then I'd walk away and I'd tell somebody about this and they'd go, it's not selfish at all. You made those 3 people feel really good in the moment. And I know, but it was for me. Because I knew after 3 people, I made a deal with myself. After I'd made these 3 people smile, I could go home.
But were you smiling? Were you smiling for you?
I wasn't to them. I was smiling for them. I wanted to change their day.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
that's like
Did you know what I mean? It was almost, it felt selfish.
Of course you're going to be depressed.
But you understand what I'm saying. I would walk away and I wouldn't be depressed anymore. I would genuinely feel better. So when I identified I was in a low moment, depression's maybe a big word for those moments, but I'd feel
So
down.
now what happens
in a
if
funk.
these people decide not to smile? You'd still be there.
It didn't happen.
It happened the whole time.
It always happened because I went there.
A smile does have that.
Exactly, but I also had that very definite, I want to make 3 other people, I don't know where they come from, I don't know what their life is all about, I don't know what they're going through, but I want to make these people smile. Even if it's not a genuine smile, if I can get a bit of a giggle and they can look at me and their eyes light up, I'm good. I've done something. And I think it
there's
also
so much to
appeals,
that what you're saying.
I think it appeals to our entertainer personalities as well. You want to get up on the stage, you want to make people happy. But
so your need for them to smile was far greater than anything else.
Yes. But is that what we're talking about here? That's because
No.
but that's the light.
But
that's the light.
But that's such a great piece there, because once you move from that, then you start realizing that's a lot of work to bring you that happy work.
It is.
And this is what I'm trying, and this is now why you and I are talking.
Right.
You got to pay attention nowadays. How much work you're doing to get what you want.
Right.
Okay? Because our times have changed and we need to quicken the pace, because that's what I'm talking about, the old ways collapsing and bringing forward. Because if you can't, this is not the age of fake it until you make it, right? However, bring in an inward smile so that you're able to, if it's easier for us to make other people smile than smiling ourselves, then do that. But it's such, you have to use discernment right now, because the crisscrossing of roads and paths and everything is real. This is a new chapter, and we've got to focus on what we want and where we're going, not what has happened. And that's what I'm sharing about. And, you brought on a different conversation about never in a million years did I ever think that I would have got depressed. But you have to get depressed because we came from such a high. You're an incredible artist and entertainer. I'm an artist. I was
Absolutely.
a tough. We used to getting. We got so stimulated by people's approval of
By little things.
By little things.
By round of applause.
And of course, right? So, and the media and all of that followed you and me and did a lot of things. So you come here to the land of milk and honey, and all of a sudden...
And find out you're allergic to milk and honey. No, I'm just kidding.
And find out that you don't know who you really are, because you've got to rebirth and reinvent that next phase. And this is like everything going. You go from a growth spurt and you got to prune, and then what is that we want now? And what we're needing right now is there's too much focus right now on the darkness.
I agree completely.
Just too much focus on the darkness.
Totally.
Lighten it up, guys.
Yeah. We're giving them too much power as well. We're giving the darkness too much power.
We have given it too much power,
And
because
it's
the
a
lights
terrible thing to do.
are all off,
Yeah.
and we're all in a scary movie,
It makes
and
no
we're all
sense to me.
watching The Walking Dead,
Sure.
and we're all being zombies, and we are not allowed to talk about God anymore, and we're not allowed to do a lot of different things, and we've got to pay attention to all of that. And not only that, talk about our music and what we're listening to.
This could be very interesting, this conversation.
What we're listening to and where that's streaming in, and what are your streams. So we spoke about earlier on, angels have a consciousness, they have a stream of light they project, and when you're touched by an angel, you just know it and you can't deny it.
Absolutely. But you can be that angel to somebody else too. You could be somebody's angel.
If you're in that stream.
If you're in the stream. I know.
Right?
Sure.
Because you can also be that nightmare to somebody else. And that changes the stream.
We
of
go back to
frequency
what
and
we spoke about a
vibration.
couple of weeks ago, though. These are choices.
Yes.
These are
you
choices to be the light or the dark. It's, if you're in the dark, if I've got a torch
Then
and you and I,
exactly.
no, you and I are in the dark.
Right.
We find ourselves in a difficult situation.
Yeah,
and this
I've
is
been
how,
there.
And we absolutely, and we will again.
Yeah.
We will again. So I've got a torch. So I take the torch out.
Yeah.
And I show the way.
Yeah.
Right? Helps you tremendously.
Right.
Helps me too.
Right.
So this is what I mean. Shining the light and being the angel, being that person for somebody else is such a powerful, powerful thing that you can do.
Yeah, but we're in the age of Aquarius, and a lot of people go,
You need to
they're
expand on that
confused
slightly.
about that because it's the age of awakening.
Right.
So whatever's there's waking up,
Mm-hmm.
right? People go, you have to plan. So what I'm seeing, and this is just from Vanda's perspective, what I'm seeing is that people are wanting to direct people's lives. They want to go coach people without not knowing how to coach themselves. They want to go heal other people without knowing how to heal themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go direct people they want to go lead people in empowerment groups and create when they are disempowering with themselves. Come on. That's the difference of what I'm talking about. Have an angel feather in you and be conscious enough. If you can't do it for you, you are no good to anybody else.
Say that bit again about the angel feather.
No, I'm not going to.
No, I want you to because I want to finish on it.
No.
No, I don't want them to rewind. No. I'm putting my foot down. Ow. I'm putting my foot down.
Ow. Because we all have a rebel inside of us.
No, sure. Absolutely. And I loved what you said, so I think it bears repeating. We have that angel feather.
So here's the challenge, because you guys are like, or they all make fun of me, right?
Who?
You guys.
Who's you guys?
You and Dana and everybody else. Oh, when it comes to explaining who you are and what is it that you want. You see?
We do.
You see?
You were right. We do because you don't want to talk. I get it.
So it's not that so I'm born this way, so I've had to figure it out.
You're not going to get away from the angel feather thing.
Yeah, so the angel feather thing is I'm here to support a lot of things of what I want to support. But what I'm seeing, and everyone sees it differently.
Sure.
Because we all have this urge, right? I want to help people. I want to have a great impact. I want to be somewhere.
Leave a mark.
I want to leave a mark.
Yeah.
I want to leave a legacy. I want to do all that. Absolutely. Yeah. Plant your seeds and grow. But what I'm seeing right now is just a complete imbalance of, and maybe it's not maybe, I know what it is. It's the awakening. Everybody's been woken up to, and it's great. And it's wonderful because everybody's learning and growing, and the contrast is so alive right now. It is rich in contrast. But just be discerning of where that desire and urge is coming from to fix other people's lives and to do all that. And it's like I'm a big talker because, people go, oh, Vanda, you're a healer. No, I come in with my gifts, but I'm born with this way. And it's an energy that passes through me. And it's grown differently as I've grown, people have grown, and I've touched people and do all of that. But I'm seeing so much, there's such a need for people to go fix other people and lead other people and do all of that. And yet I can see you. So I can read your grid. I can see what's going on.
Sure.
And I'm like, first of all, we're not here to fix others.
No.
Right?
Not.
The way we really guide people is by being of great service to ourselves and others. And that's a challenge always. As caregivers, we're the last ones to give to ourselves. And I'm the greatest default to that. I know where I am. But I'm just saying there's something out of whack here because there's just this constant churning of like, oh, I need to go and speak. I need to go and heal these people. No, we don't need to go heal anybody. People are here to create their own thing. If that's what you've been called to, then make sure that you're called in with attunement with your own angel feather. Make sure you've got that feather in place. Make sure that it's coming from the light and not a lower aspect of you and ego and all of that, because that's not going to go far for anybody.
So an angel is the light. It's
always.
The light. That's what it is. It's the light. Whatever that light
Unless
is
it's
to
the
you.
fallen angel.
Okay. Fair enough. We've had that conversation.
Right.
It's made me think about what we're going to talk about next week. We absolutely have to do this because you've just mentioned something about you can't do this for somebody if you don't believe it yourself. I want you to think about this before we talk again. And we're going to talk about this on the next episode. Can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself? Don't answer. Don't answer me. Can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself? If you like this podcast, if you like what we're talking about, if you want to subscribe, please do so now. Like the channel, do all of those necessary things. It's going to help the channel grow and help us to do what we do. We love what we do. I love sitting here with you, Vanda. I hope you feel the same way. This has been another fascinating conversation. Thank you.
Double whammy.
Double whammy. Flip side, flip side, flip side. This flip side nonsense. This high-fiving nonsense is going to drive people nuts.
I don't know.
Well, at least we didn't do it during the podcast.
Great conversation.
It was great. Lovely. It was fantastic.